Hello and welcome to Girls Got Game. I'm your host, Mia Flores, and today we'll be talking about the WWE Royal Rumble, updates in the women's lacrosse world, and the devastating crash at the Olympics. Stay tuned because Girls Got Game starts right now. Hello everybody, welcome back to my favorite part of my Thursday. I'm here with my other favorite part of my Thursday, Miss Katie Christianson.
Thanks.
How are we today?
I miss you.
Did I do good?
You did so great. Did it slay, guys? That was awesome.
I ate that down, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Yep.
We're also here with none other than, guess who? Austin Suarez. Do the thing, do the thing, do the thing. Making his Girls Got Game debut, Miguel Parra.
Slay.
And my queen, Miss Nathalie Bermudez.
Yes, thank
Yay.
you.
everybody.
Yay, thanks for being here, guys. How you doing?
I'm chilling. I'm wonderful.
Yeah?
Great day. Great day.
I'm excited
We're getting some dancing in before this.
Oh, yes.
The energy is high.
Energy is high.
But we're gonna talk about some WWE. I don't know about you guys, but I've been a fan. My dad raised me. We used to place bets on like, what's the big one called? WrestleMania.
WrestleMania?
We used to place bets on
Oh.
WrestleMania. I'm not even playing. But
That's fun.
what about you guys?
No, it wasn't until like college where I realized it was way bigger. I felt like the people that I grew up with weren't really into it, and then as soon as I got to college, I feel like so many like friends that I knew were really into it and just WWE in general. So I learned a lot through that and just like listening to them talk about it and all of the lore, and it's really fun. But also it's like kind of a lot to like get into. There's
history.
There's way too much history. As soon as they start talking about something, it's like if you weren't really there and you weren't really following it, you kind of lose its impact a little bit, in my opinion. I don't know. Do you guys differ from my opinion?
Well, you know, I actually had the pleasure of having a father who was super into wrestling. He named me after Stone Cold Steve Austin. Shout out Emilio Suarez. But I grew up just watching wrestling tapes, just old wrestling tapes, all the way from the golden era, from the Hulk Hogan's to the Bret Harts, to the Shawn Michaels, to the Attitude Eras with the Stone Colds, to now with, you know, the Roman Reigns, the Seth Rollins. I've absolutely loved the sport.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, I'm just gonna give like a little bit of what went down because again, I don't know how many viewers out there get the WWE too much, but Liv Morgan won the 2026 Women's Royal Rumble, which is really good, and from what I know, was a long time coming. So we were waiting for it, Miguel. Were we waiting for it?
Yeah, Liv Morgan, love her. Absolutely amazing, you know, ever since she was like in NXT and everything. She has made several appearances. She's won several championships, you know, and she made it to the Final Four, right? And then go on to win, right? She did hit a little backstab on her teammate, actually, Raquel Rodriguez, on the Judgment Day. But you know what? She got the win in the end. They talked it out next time on Monday Night Raw. So, you know, things are looking pretty good. And, you know, I'm really excited where they're going to take this, where they're going to go, who she's going to challenge for the championship, and see where this develops.
Yeah, Nat, how do you think she's going to go about this championship? Do you think she's going to keep soaring, or do you think it's going to stop here?
So honestly, I think she's gonna keep soaring. I feel like Liv Morgan is not. She's at it in her prime. I think she's just gonna keep soaring from there. She is such a baddie, and I honestly see her going up. And I just want her to, you know, reach her fullest potential, which I think she's on the way there for sure.
Absolutely. So the final four were Tiffany Stratton, Liv Morgan, Sol Ruca, and Raquel Rodriguez. Super amazing. Whoever wins Royal Rumble gets to go to WrestleMania, which is the big dogs over there.
Oh, yeah.
Who opened was Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Did we think that was a good?
That was a wonderful opener.
Yeah,
Okay.
amazing.
You know, first of all, y'all were talking about Liv Morgan. My girl Liv Morgan was the runner-up in the 2023-2024 Royal Rumbles. Like I said, though, she's not going to be beating Stephanie Valquer. Stephanie Valquer. I do want to talk about my favorite entrant. Do we count this as a debut or not? Natalya had debuted under the Natty Neidhart name, and not only is she revolutionizing her character, but she's revolutionizing the entire sport of women's wrestling. But my second favorite entrant definitely has to go to Lash Legend. She held the match high of 5 eliminations total And a little bit of trivia for you guys, she actually holds the NCAA record for most rebounds in a basketball tournament at 27 for Texas A&M.
That's actually
Wait,
so
period.
sick. That is so sick.
And then obviously, you know, my favorite part though, you know, just the creative and standout ring gear all night. I got a couple of shout outs here. Sol Ruca with the long sleeve checkerboard kind of reminds me of like Jeff Hardy meeting Vans. Lola Vice, you know, the normal pink and blue color scheme, but just in bodysuit form. Roxanne Perez, Shigo from Kim Possible, what an attire. And then obviously our girl Lash Legend, as you saw on the graphic, with the all purple fluffy attire. What do you guys think about the attires?
I love it.
Honestly, it's sick.
As someone who, like, again, I'm not like super into all of the lore and everything. As someone who's very theatrical, I think that is such a fun part, especially since it is a scripted type of show, to have these characters, to have these like identities, and to wear it with like such pride, and like even with their names, like Lash, like Legend, like, and having her lashes be like huge and big and beautiful, and like I love it. It just adds another layer, I guess, to the performance. And
100%.
it definitely is like a needed layer. And it helps other people. There are 30 participants. Like some people who aren't like, again, heavily into the lore, like you're able to identify these people that way.
Exactly.
That's so true. I've said it once and I've said it before. If I looked like that, I would fit out too. It's so simple.
Yes. So that is super cool. Nat, what did you want to talk about?
So I wanted to talk about Lola Vice's Royal Rumble debut, and I'm just so proud how far she's gotten in WWE, because she was in NXT, or she kind of still is, but she made her debut in Royal Rumble, and she's the first Cuban woman to be in Royal Rumble, and honestly, that's just a big step for us Latinas. So I'm just very happy for her. And she is a former MMA fighter. She fought for Bellator, but then she took that aside and then pursued her WWE wrestling, pro wrestling career. I was just so happy to see her being entrant number 6. She got eliminated, of course, but it was very fun to see her go out there in her, full Miami Cuban energy.
Yes.
And you know the crazy thing is I watched her wrestle about a year and a half ago for NXT for $10. And now she's all the way in Saudi Arabia doing what she does best. I think that's absolutely sick.
Yes.
Exactly.
We'll see a lot of her, I feel,
Yeah.
in the future,
totally.
Absolutely. That is so cool, though, and she's literally so pretty.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She's so
Stunning.
beautiful.
She's stunning. Okay, and Miguel, actually, you have like a really hot opinion over here.
Yeah.
Do you want to share your hot take?
Yeah. Personally, the women's Royal Rumble was so much better than the men's Royal Rumble. There was no point in time where I was dozing off. I was constantly paying attention. There was so much going on. My personal favorite was Sol Ruca, who entered at number 10. It was her Royal Rumble debut. She ended up being the final 3, And one of her finishers, goes off her name, the Soul Snatcher. Amazing. She does a backflip,
Wait, that's
RKO, and it's just stunning. We also got a surprise return from Brie Bella to help out Nikki.
Brimo.
So
Brie
we
Bella.
got the Bella twins back. They're going to be going after the
how
tag
long
team
ago?
championships. And,
after
they're
forever.
making a bigger name for themselves as well. So, yeah, it was much more entertaining than the men's Royal Rumble. And I just enjoyed every storyline that is happening right now in the women's division, and it's just going to take off from here.
I love that. And, talking about how it's taking off even more, Royal Rumble started in 1988.
Yes.
So, and then it kind of became what it is today-ish in 2018. So, at least to my understanding. So, we're growing, we're getting bigger. You even said the women's were even more entertaining, in your opinion. Do you think, what is next for us now?
Definitely
It's getting big. Like, it's
a
getting
WrestleMania main event. Of course, we had the triple threat match between Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Ronda Rousey to headline a WrestleMania. But I think it's time that women get their own main event. The whole, prestige of the Royal Rumble is you get that last elimination and you get to headline WrestleMania to live out your wildest dreams. And I think it's only fair for the women to have the same thing.
Absolutely. That's so cool. Okay, well, we'll be expecting that soon. And then, Mia, you want to talk about someone super cool too.
Bro, Asuka, bro. She's actually, I remember when I was younger and she came out and I was so scared of Asuka fully. She's I don't know how to describe her. She's like the energy and the aura is insane. Look at her.
Yeah, she's scary.
Are we serious?
I'm
But
scared.
yeah, she was the eighth entrant. She's been with the WWE since 2015, and she's the first Japanese woman signed after like 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
She led the charge in that aspect for sure.
Yeah,
That's super
she's
cool.
nuts. But she's a member of the Kabuki Warriors, and she's also a SmackDown Women's Champion. That's my goat. I'm not even gonna lie. She's actually just her energy and the aura and like the like makeup she always does. Like back to the like
Has she been
having
around?
these characters. It's dude.
Her
Has she been
entrance is
around
very
forever?
unique.
Oh, her
I love
entrance
it.
is nuts.
What's her entrance?
She
I
like
have it on
comes
there.
out
Okay.
like a
will
kabuki
play that.
dancer. She wears a mask,
Okay.
with a
Yeah,
bunch
and
of
she's
the
like-
whole thing.
and she's like, you know, walking around.
She takes
dude,
off slowly.
It's
Oh
sick.
gosh.
She goes like this, and it's her makeup.
Wait, I'm
underneath.
scared. I
Yeah.
would not want to go up
I'm
against
terrified.
her.
No, you gotta be shaking in my boots. It's because she always has like this crazy makeup, and she like,
Oh yeah, no.
it's so
That's
tough.
not for me, guys.
She had everyone shaking in their boots for sure.
Everybody shaking in their boots.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, well, unfortunately, that's all that we have time to talk about for today. But I totally think that we should revisit more WWE, more of this kind of thing later on. I think it's super.
WrestleMania season after all.
Yes, it's WrestleMania season.
it
This is really entertaining. But stay tuned because next we're talking about lacrosse.
Quick interruption. We'll be right back for your show. For now, let me give you a quick rundown of what the Hitting the Field Network has planned for you. My name is Edgar Rodriguez, and I'm the host of Hitting the Field Season 22, live streaming every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. There, you'll find me and our expert guests talking about everything in the wide world of sports. On Tuesday, get ready because it's Season 10 of Nighttime. Hosted by Andrew Gregg and Joe Geiger, Nighttime keeps you up to date on everything happening in the world of college sports and UCF athletics. Moving on to Wednesday, we have Season 8 of The Combine, hosted by our very own Kathleen Moore. This podcast takes a deep and technical dive into everything NFL, and you won't want to miss that. On Thursday, we go live with Bets, where our Bets boys, Ben Huber, Augie Aronson, and Scott Harris, will give their expert opinion that might just make you some money. On Friday, Season 4 of Girls Got Game takes over with only the hottest topics in women's sports, hosted by none other than Katie Sue Christianson and Mia Flores. And to round out the week, Season 3 of HTFC comes on Saturday, hosted by Octavius Lawrence and Santiago Molina. Soccer never stops, and HTFC will be your stop for everything in the world of football. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, where you can find non-stop additional content, as well as stay updated on all HTFN news. Lastly, leave a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the Hitting the Field Network on YouTube. That's all I got. I'm Edgar Rodriguez, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your show.
Back to talk about Women's Lacrosse League. With me, I have Mason Best. How are we doing?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be back. Excited to be on Girls Got Game again.
Yay, to talk about lacrosse. Are you a big lacrosse guy?
I'm not. I had to look up a little bit and research a little bit, but I think I am now.
I actually, yeah, you definitely did your research here. I'm excited to get into it. We get new updates and team rosters were released for women's lacrosse. So I'm just going to go in a little bit and start with just some general updates. So their first season schedule was just completely released. Opening weekend is set for May 15th through the 17th, which is going to be really cool. They're going to have 11 weekends, which is also really cool. 23 players in each roster, amazing. And then the championship weekend will be in Philadelphia, August 14th and 16th. Opening weekend will be in Rhode Island. Really exciting. Every place that they've picked is definitely in specific hubs to make sure that they're driving this expansion and they're nailing it and like nipping it in the bud, making sure we're gonna sell these tickets. Everybody in these areas really are.
All in the places where you see lacrosse growing the fastest.
Exactly. So this was all very, very, very played out and thought about, which makes me really happy and makes me think that there is more success to the start of this. But yeah, we're gonna have Boston Guard, California Palms, Maryland Charm, and New York Charging, in the championship series. So that's really cool. Mia, I know that you were going to go through some little team analysis.
Little baby team analysis. For those of you who don't know, I'm Hitting the Field's one and only lacrosse fan in this entire building. But I have a very huge, to start us off, I have a very huge bias on the Boston Guard, solely because Charlotte North signed my stick when I played a few years ago. That's my queen. But essentially, I think what we're going to see from these teams is for the Boston Guard, you have a really high energy offensive approach, which is really important in sixes because you don't really have like roles. There's no like attack, midi, defense. It's just, everybody's essentially a midfielder. So they said they're gonna focus on quick ball movement, and they have some veteran midfielders, including the Charlotte North and some of her BC teammates actually. And they also won the championship last year. So like I think a 2P is due.
Absolutely.
But I think Charlotte North is also gonna be my MVP pick because.
Really?
Oh. Oh.
No, you have a okay. You have a
I don't
valid
think
one.
you're gonna like mine then.
No, I'm gonna like yours. It's okay. For the charging, we're gonna try to speed it up because my bad, guys. They are very much led by Miss Izzy Skane. She's nuts. They also have forward Emily Hershuk with her fakes are nasty.
Yeah.
They're so like it's beautiful, but they also have a killer offense, which is also really important. For the Maryland Charm, they're led by Alex Holman. They said they aim to break through defenses with versatility and speed. And with sixes this season, they have a 30-second shot clock, which is very different from how normal, like a lot of travel and high school leagues play lacrosse.
Okay.
So it's a little weird to look into.
Okay.
But the versatility and the speed is going to be really important because, you only have 30 seconds, and these shots can go anywhere. And then finally, the California Palms are led by Ali Mastrioni. They're focused on the kind of disciplined, high IQ approach to the sixes format. Like they're trying to kind of break it down and use it to their advantage. And they also, the coach said that she wants to emphasize transitions. So like getting people on and off the field properly, getting players where they need to be. Like I think it's going to be a really, really good season.
And it's so interesting because they are all such different teams, and they are all taking different paths to success.
I think they're going to be even more competitive than last year, though. Like last year, you saw the Guard kind of run away with it, starting to get to the end, and I think it's going to be even closer this year. All four teams look really, really competitive.
Absolutely. Who do you think is going to really
I think the Charging this year. They made it to the finals last year. They did lose to the Guard, but they made some really good off-season additions, adding some good standout middle infielders. And then with that, they have my MVP pick in Izzy Skane. And I think that she could stand a league above everybody else, and especially above Charlotte North, who I think could be a runner-up in the MVP race. But Izzy Skane is someone to watch out for.
Why do you think she's so threatening?
She's the head of that Charging offense. Whenever the Charging are scoring and on big scoring runs, she's involved in it. High power is how that Charging offense runs.
Obviously, teams are as good as their captain at a lot of the times. They are going to drive. So it is really important to specifically look at your captain and really see how they define that team. I love that. Obviously, there's you gave a little snicker, though. do you completely disagree?
I just I'm just such a Boston Guard girl at heart, just mainly because their team is so it's like a well-oiled machine, and the head of that machine is Miss Charlotte North. Charlotte North is as famous as she is for a reason. Her shots are disgusting. Yeah. She has really good transitions. I have a low-key holy ground ball team too, to be honest.
There's a reason that they're the defending champs.
Yes. Exactly. But I do heavily respect the Izzy Skane MVP pick because she is just as disgusting. They're kind of, it's like on you flip a coin.
It's gonna be hard.
Yeah, you flip a coin, heads you have Charlotte North, tails you have Izzy Skane.
I think it's going to be much closer though. Like last year, the Charging's biggest problem was their defense, and they added some really, really good defenders this year coming into the season, specifically named in Katie Goodale, who I think is going to really improve that Charging defense.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. Great point. Obviously, I was just gonna, for the plot, say Maryland Charms. So that's who I'm betting on.
The audience gets.
The audience can have California Palms. Yeah. You might be right, but probably not.
You could be right.
But yeah, I wanted to talk more about honestly how this growth is showing so much. Obviously, we're gonna see the Olympic debut in LA 28 of lacrosse, so that's going to be super, super cool.
And that team is gonna be.
Yes, that
team
team's
is
gonna
gonna
be
gross.
sick.
Yeah.
Rising women's NCAA lacrosse participation, like more than you've ever seen. The momentum is there for this to be happening, and there's a lot of media supporting this. ESPN is supporting it. Major marketing is supporting it with, lacrosse roots, and again, being in Providence or Baltimore, Chicago, Long Island, all of these places really big into lacrosse. Really important for even young women to be seeing this and like being in their town and having access to these games, which is really, really cool.
And the numbers back all of it too. The Boston Guard and New York Charging's championship game last year is the most viewed women's lacrosse game ever.
Which is so cool.
Yeah, it's
so
so awesome.
Obviously, again, the momentum is there. Full season expanded with expanded rosters. There's college drafts now, and again, 11 weekend games. Like it is huge. Super cool that it's getting so many views as well.
I'm also a big fan of they're doing each team's like home opener weekends, which is funny. Which is also kind of funny because Boston's home opener weekend
cool.
isn't until like the end of the season.
Yes,
but I think it's just so fun to they're like, hey, like these players are these are your players. Come watch them.
Yes.
Like come cheer them on.
Making it more enticing for sure.
Exactly.
It's definitely because of course you're gonna want to show up more if it's like that opening. Yeah. It's a big deal, and I think that's also another smart marketing tool that they're using to make sure that we are going to these games and we're supporting these women in these sports. But yes, what do you think we're gonna really want to look out for this season and the growth?
I think at the end of the season, you're going to be looking to add more teams. So with the college draft and adding some of these high-profile college players from these big lacrosse schools like Yale and schools like that, you're going to need more teams. 4 teams isn't enough. Absolutely. And there's so many talented women's college players that they're coming out of college and they're looking to continue to play.
Yes.
And now with it becoming an Olympic sport too, you're going to want even more players that can play for the Olympic team.
Absolutely. So we definitely can do it. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for this segment. Thank you, Mason, for staying on
Thank you
and
guys
talking
for
about
having
this
me.
awesome stuff, lacrosse. Stay tuned because we're going to talk about Lindsey Vonn next.
You never got me anything for my birthday.
I don't even know what that is. I thought birthdays were every 100 years like the Kids' Choice Awards.
What?
Ah, finally, he's here, man. He's always late.
Who?
Marcus?
You good? I'd give them one of these and one of these.
Behind every on-screen moment is a whole team of engineers and technologists.
And you can be a part of such a team through SMPTE at UCF. You'll join a team of students just like you who are ready to innovate the future of TV and film.
With SMPTE at UCF, you'll be able to connect with local industry pros, learn about new technology in the industry, as well as get backstage experience that really matters. Join SMPTE for a backstage pass to all of this.
We meet every last Monday of the month for our general body meetings. There we discuss how new technology is being used to create new media, and we get to highlight local professionals and their specialties.
On top of that, we have some site visits planned, so tune into our social media to be notified of when those will happen.
So if you're ready to pull back the curtain and find out what really happens behind the scenes, join SMPTE at UCF.
Hello, and we're back to talk about something very sad, but something that happens a lot in sports and honestly a lot in the Olympics. With us, we have Noah Greene. Thanks for being here. Hello. How are you?
I'm doing good. I wish I was here under better circumstances, but that's just...
This is important, though, to talk about, and honestly, this is huge news. Lindsey Vonn, at 41 years old, is now not going to be skiing anymore after her devastating crash 13 seconds into her ski, which is crazy. It was quick. People are saying it's 1 in 1,000, the fact that this happened. It was a freak accident, basically. If you didn't know what happened, she was airlifted off the mountain. She was violently tumbling down the slope. She was skiing with a fully ruptured ACL already, which she says, she was like, it had nothing to do, the injury had nothing to do with this.
It's just unfortunate.
It just was unfortunate that it happened. but she didn't say it was because she was skiing on the ACL. She came out and she underwent surgery already, and she had a complex fracture in her left leg, which is crazy. Very sad. But yeah, she's 41 years old. She's said the only failure is not trying. She doesn't regret anything. She wanted to ski. She did ski. She was trying to become the oldest person to complete it, which is also very sad because
41 years old.
Yeah, and she was going to, she was going to take that home.
She was so close to doing it. Second most World Cup wins in that sport already for her age. She was so close to accomplishing, to being the absolute greatest at her position. And 5 inches, that's all it took. 5 inches, hooked the arm, and that caused her freak accident with the leg injury.
It's crazy. And when you think about 9.6% of all Winter Olympic athletes are injured during the games. And a lot of those get them out of their sport forever, which is so sad because obviously being an athlete at this level is so crazy.
Athletes take so much risk every single day. It doesn't matter the sport. It doesn't. I'm a big football fan, and there's an injury that happened in about 2017, 2018, around that time. Ryan Shazier, he had a freak leg injury as well, and he was a really fun linebacker for the Steelers that I really enjoyed watching. And it's just athletes, they put their bodies on the line every single day, and we kind of forget the human element that it takes, and they love it. She said in her Instagram post that she wouldn't take it back for the world. She would she would ski and ski and ski again, knowing that the injuries it would cause. And obviously, her father doesn't want her doing it again. She probably, this is likely a career ender for her, but she, again, wouldn't trade it for the world. This is something that's very important for her. And, it's just a very unfortunate and tragic situation.
As you were saying before, you put everything on the line to do what you love and what you're passionate about, which is so important. What do you think she's saying what do you think she's meaning by coming out and being like, I want to have changed this, it is what it is, in the way that she's just responding to the injury?
41 years old, still doing this. I can't ski.
What do you expect?
You do not want to see me. You do not want to see me try and ski. I am incredibly clumsy. So that takes so much athleticism, so much skill. And the fact she's probably been training for her entire life to do this sport, and she still achieved so much, so many cup wins as a skier, second most. And she would have been the oldest person to win the most skiing races, had she not suffered this freak injury. And despite her not climbing to the top, she almost got to the top, and she made herself extremely relevant by doing it.
There's absolutely a cost for greatness. When you want to be, let's think about the rose and the thorn of the Olympics.
True.
You are in the limelight. This is the biggest, best thing that you can do as an athlete. But the training that you have to put into it, the lack of personal life that you have.
So many hours.
There is an insane amount of sacrifices that you have to make to get there and to be there. And you're putting your whole body on the line to get to this place, your well-being. These are things that you can die. And skiing is one of the most dangerous sports that they do have in the Winter Olympics. And she just happened to do that. But obviously, the other side of it, the rose of it, is insane glory.
Absolutely.
And I think there's just a special type of person that you're born with the need to win. You're born with the need to succeed and to get there and to just drive and be the best that there is. And there's nothing that's changing it.
Absolutely. In the Olympics, you got to do all of these qualifying trials, like you already said, all these hours, all this training, pre-qualifiers, and then, just to get into the Olympics in itself is such an incredible achievement. And, so little of the population actually gets to go to the Olympics. So it makes sense to her that, of course she wouldn't trade this for the world. She's doing what she loves. She made a career out of it. And even though it's going to end in an unfortunate situation, she was still one of the top athletes at that position. So it's just, she still did an incredible thing. Just making it to the Olympics in itself is such an incredible achievement.
I think her resilience too will just add to her legacy. Obviously, like she is a very well-known athlete. This is just going to add to her story on who she is and like why she's doing it. And I think that she knows that, and I don't think
resiliency, like you already said.
I don't think she's upset about it. I think that which I don't know how you're not supposed to be when you work so hard for something like this. It was so close.
I think that kind of ties into it, though. I mean, like you guys have been saying, you put in all of these hours, and you lose your personal life, and you put your entire self into this sport. And in Lindsey Vonn's case, like you do all of this for your ACL to blow out, and you still want to play because it's the Olympics. You don't want to miss out on the Olympics. Like half of a bunch of the Canada men's team got injured pre-Olympics and they won't get to play because they got injured in these games. Poulin on the women's Canadian team got injured and she's missing out on some games. Yeah. And it kind of, I don't know how to say this, it kind of makes me a little nervous because the generation of these athletes that are coming in are a lot younger. So they will have this mindset like,
they have that grind mindset. They have so this actually brings up a really interesting question. Do you think athletes should be cleared to complete while injured? Do you think that should be like a harder process to go through?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all depends on the severity of the injury. I mean, obviously, because I mean, like Lindsey Vonn is she is like a grown woman, and I don't know if you guys saw her clap back at that one doctor on Twitter. No. A doctor was like, you should not be playing on your ACL if it's blown. She's like, it's 100% blown out. Anyway, tune in. I'm gonna be skiing. Like on Twitter fully. But I think with other certain injuries, I think it should be a bit of a harder to process to get cleared.
Yeah, Noah, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, these are athletes. These are full-grown adult, these are full-grown adults. They get to make their own decisions, in my opinion. This is just something, it's all about risk-reward. You go into a sport, any sport, it's going to have some risk, especially skiing, like I already said. Like, you do not want to see me ski. I would probably blow out my ACL, my PCL, my tibia.
My arms flying off.
I just think that there's like a layer of responsibility, though, regardless. I think that there is a layer of responsibility to protect these athletes.
And for the athletes themselves, though.
Especially, think about, yes, Lindsey Vonn is older. She's 41 years old. But there's so many athletes in the Olympics right now that are under 25, their frontal lobe is not completely developed. Yeah. They're in the grind mindset. They've just made it to the Olympics. It's their first
Olympics
ever. Their first time there. If something were to happen. So I feel like it's different. It's a different story.
They just work so hard to get there, and it's just so hard.
So you think it should be a personal choice?
I think it absolutely should be. They put all these hours in, so much work.
No, I think that there needs to be some protection.
I think there should be a very, I don't know the word, like a really pushed aspect of like you can go back in if you're injured, but you need to understand what this is going to do to you.
That makes sense.
They need to have a clear understanding of what the injury is and, how recover I think proper recovery is the most important thing.
Yes.
Not just, giving up after a freak injury, but recovering properly. Like an ACL, maybe she should have waited a little longer, not given up, but maybe she should have waited a little longer to compete.
Yes, I agree. And I think Lindsey Vonn definitely will stay in the skiing world. I think that she will be around. I think she'll be a huge personality regardless, even if we don't get to see her ski anymore, really. But unfortunately, that is all the time that we have. Noah, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me.
But tune in next week for some more Girls Got Game. See you later.